Now I'd like to go to space a bit. So you know who this I'm talking about. So Sarah, tell us a bit more about a day in the life that you deal with.
Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So first, yeah, this is a message for all the girls around the world, to get ready, to get prepared for the next adventure in space, to the moon and to Mars. And how did it happen for me in terms of studying astronauts' blood and studying how astronauts are behaving and how their body is behaving in space? It started with biology. And so biology is really multidisciplinary in a way. It's difficult to just focus on one single aspect. It's connected to medicine. It's connected to space, for example. It's connected to many different disciplines, in fact. And so the research that at the day of today, research is really bringing you to different places. We heard it with the previous speaker, because research is really collaboration and being networking with each other in order to be able to perform research to a higher level. So my days are usually, maybe less now, but were usually being at the lab, experimenting, so testing different types of molecules to protect cells against radiation, or to understand what are the different genes, what is changing in cells when they are exposed to radiation or when they are exposed to space conditions. So these experiments are following different and using different types of technologies that goes from microscopy to flow cytometry, which is a very nice instrument that can help you to detect any subtle changes of physiology in the cells. So I was very happy when we had our first experiments that flew to space in 2002. We had our first cells that came back from space, and then they arrived at the lab, and I started to analyze them straightforward for I think 36 hours in a row, and that was really a wonderful moment. So basically understanding how space conditions, and space conditions are a mixture of radiation, cosmic radiation, but also weightlessness and different types of stresses can affect the cells is very interesting, because it's also very much linked to improving medicine and healthcare on Earth, by understanding, for example, how space affects osteoporosis, how it induces and it accelerates osteoporosis or bone loss, or how it accelerates aging in certain aspects, aging of the skin, or aging of the immune system, really is helpful to cure some diseases on Earth where you have, for example, in the elderly population, an osteoporosis and high level of osteoporosis and bone loss. So basically through space conditions and understanding how this accelerated aging is taking place in space conditions, you can really help a lot medicine. So this is a picture of at the lab. On the left-hand side, it's a trophy that I received for my research in the space field, and this is the beSPACE award that I received not only for the research but also for the communication and the engagement with the society, because I think it's a part of our duty as researchers, as scientists, to communicate and to make everyone understand what we are doing and how important and how it's useful for our society. And space also led me to Antarctica. And this is I think a beautiful platform, a station, which is a Belgian station, the Princess Elizabeth station. Where I could spend a few weeks 2-3 years ago, and as you can see, it's beautiful technology and architecture. It looks like a spaceship, basically, and it's this station is a zero emission station, so it really shows that you can only with the sun and with wind turbines to really produce quite a lot of energy, and it works with this type of energy. And I was there to study what we called space analog environment, because Antarctica is a very good analog for space conditions. Why? Because in Antarctica, people are kind of isolated, like in space, like astronauts are isolated from the rest during their mission. They are confined. They are confined inside the space shuttle. So in a space station, as you can, an Antarctic station, as you can see here, you're so confined if the weather is not so nice. In that picture, the beautiful weather, we had beautiful weather, but it was not like that every day. And so all through this time that I was in Antarctica, I could also monitor the health and the physiology of the people staying in confined and isolated environment. And that's very helpful to understand and predict what will happen in astronauts when they stay for a long time in this type of situation, certainly in terms of mental stress. Then part of my work is also teaching. I'm teaching in 2 universities in Belgium, at the University of Leuven and at the University of Ghent, teaching students from different areas and from different disciplines, and teaching them space biology and space medicine. I also coach and help and supervise quite a lot of students, master students, bachelor students, but also doctoral students that you can see on the top right of this picture. And on the top left, I'm very happy to have helped a team of young teenagers who had really who wanted to change the world, and they had applied to be part of a competition called the Technopolis Marathon, and basically they won a prize of developing technology for a Mars habitat, so how to survive and live in Mars. And at the bottom of this picture, you see my children, Alexandra and William, on the bottom right, and then in the bottom middle, with my darling husband, Andrew. So basically, a lot of my energy and my time is devoted to understanding the impact of radiation in order to improve radiation treatment, radiation therapy, to cure better cancer, because we are not there yet. There are still a lot of research that needs to take place. And really to the link between the two, radiation therapy and cosmic radiation and the moon and Mars, is in fact the same type of story, is really trying to help humanity to cure diseases, to go through and to find ways of coping against different types of stresses, and to make healthcare better and to live longer and in a better way. So there is really a lot of connection between space research and cancer research and healthcare. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much, Sarah. Again, bringing all those elements together, and I love the journey of what you do, and especially seen through the images, and taking that forward. And I just want to mention that Sarah was nominated as beSPACE Personality of 2018 by the beSPACE Community of Space Enthusiasts, and recently honored by the King and Queen in Belgium for her research talent and engagement in society. So this is really, truly amazing. So thank you for taking us to space. Something that I hope that, actually, I just had that in a meeting yesterday where someone said, well, you know, my real goal is I'd like to go to Mars. And I thought, this is great. Came out, they just said that as a goal. I'm like, this is wonderful. We can
I forgot to say, if you allow me a few seconds, there is, for the moment, there is a possibility to join the European Space Agency, to become astronauts, and I would like really to invite everyone to consider to apply. It's open. The positions are open until the end of May, 28th of May. And please, if you think and if you'd like to go to the moon and to Mars, join and have a look on the ESA website, the European Space Agency, and apply, please.
Oh, this is fantastic. Thank you for that. To mention that, Sarah, that's so inspirational.